Hello, it's great to be here this morning, and my name is Levi Shaw, and I worship at the Rice Road Church of Christ in Columbia, Missouri. One of the most prominent mantras in today's culture is the idea of being yourself. PsychologyToday.com gives a definition for this phrase. In general, be yourself means to be true to your core identity rather than faking a different one because you think it will be attractive to others. I thought of this topic about 2 years ago when I was going throughout my day-to-day classes. And up on the board was the quote of the day. Life is simple. Just be yourself. As we study today, I will try and expound upon this phrase and some others like it and give a reason as to why this is some of the worst advice you could give a Christian. For our text this morning, we're going to be reading Galatians 19 through 20. And it reads there, "For I, through the law, died to the law, that I might live to God. I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me." So the main message I want to focus on this morning is that our identity is an imperfect imitation of Jesus Christ. In today's world, our identities are fluid. Some people might say they're extroverted, some might say they're introverted, or maybe somewhere in between. Or maybe it's, I'm into this hobby, or I work this job, I'm into this band. These things change all the time. But there's one thing about being a Christian that grounds us throughout our entire lives, and that is that we are servants of Jesus Christ. That is our true identity. We submit ourselves to a creator that is higher than us. There's one word we don't like to hear today, and that is submission. Nobody wants to have their lives stripped away from them, living to please and imitate somebody else. What does the Bible say about submission? Romans 12, verses 1 through 2 read, "I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable, perfect will of God." I think we can see how opposed this is to the climate of today's culture. People today will tell you to act on your own will and to follow your heart till the ends of the earth. This is a stark contrast from what the scriptures say. Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 7 read, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil." Saul knew what it meant to lean on his own understanding and to do what he thought was right in his own eyes. He lived his life up until the events of Acts 9 terrorizing the church. Remember in Acts 9 when Jesus confronted Saul on the road to Damascus and said, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting." At that moment, Jesus presented forth a complete identity 180. Saul's life would never be the same. And even later, as we know, his name would change. Saul had many reasons to continue persecuting the church. Friends, family, reputation, and power were all tangled up in his identity of a zealous Jew. But now, instead of leaning upon his own understanding, he asked the Lord, "What do you want me to do?" He didn't look to himself for wisdom, but instead followed the Lord wherever he took him. That is how we should be today. It doesn't matter how integral we think something is to our identity. We should be ready to cut ties with it if we find it is opposing the Lord. Often today, people say things like, "Well, my flaws make me who I am," or "I don't have to change for anyone." There is someone we need to change for every day, and that is Jesus. When the Word of God reveals our flaws and failings, we change. That is the covenant we made when we were baptized. Every day we lose a little bit of ourselves and replace it with Jesus. So in conclusion this morning, I want to ask, are we more concerned about expressing ourselves and our own desires than manifesting Christ to others? I'll close with Psalm 100, verse 3. Know that the Lord, He is God. It is He who has made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Thank you.